Hey everybody, I'm live out here on these streets. Let me see if anybody pops in here. I barely go live, so let me turn this music down. I barely go live, so I don't know if anybody's gonna get notifications. But we need to go down into this Diddy rabbit hole, okay? The things that are being revealed is very, very interesting to me anyway. But let's see what's going on out here. I'm gonna go through this investigation that Rolling Stone did. It was a 6-month investigation. I wonder when they began or what made them begin this investigation. They must have got some type of inkling that all of this was about to go down, because 6 months ago nobody was talking about Diddy and all this stuff. 6 months ago there was little whispers here and there, but nobody was there was nothing officially. I don't know how long the Cassie thing was. When did Cassie, I think that was maybe December or January. So I don't know. I'm wondering, how is it that they decided to do this investigation on Diddy? Let me send my link out to a few people so they can know I'm live. So nobody knows. Let's go to here. We're going to talk about this. And I'm going to go into Shakur Stewart, the one they never really talk about. I gave the wrong doggone link. Let's go to the link that I want to send. Hold on. Give me a minute, y'all. I give people some time to get into. Let me see. Hold on. We're going to go into this article, this investigation that Rolling Stone did that, they went thorough into this investigation. But I'm going to also fill in some more information as we go along. Okay, I'm ready now. What's up, Mimi? Okay, first we're going to start with this this investigation with Rolling Stone. Sean Diddy Combs. Let me turn this music down. It's throwing me off. Sean Diddy Combs. 10 key takeaways from our 6-month investigation. Combs' history of abuse allegedly dates back to college, according to several Howard University classmates. Now, that's crazy, because I used to listen to Diddy. I used to hear about the parties at Howard University out in D.C. And everybody was saying how dope the parties were. But we never heard nothing bad about him beating nobody and none of that. So this secret was well kept. Shortly after R&B singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura filed her sex trafficking lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs last November. So that was November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, they started it around when Cassie dropped that lawsuit. That's when they started this investigation. Last November, Rolling Stone launched a wide-ranging 6-month investigation into the rapper, record mogul, and billionaire businessman. The reporting led to interviews with more than 50 people connected to Combs throughout his career, stretching back to his days as a student at Howard University. The career-spanning article published Tuesday uncovered a previously unreported allegation of violence against a woman on the Howard University campus, new details of alleged physical aggression, and claims that Combs sexually harassed a freelance employee at a 2001 party. The new claims bolster the public allegations made against Combs in the 6 additional sex assault lawsuits filed by 5 women and a man since Ventura stepped forward. Several people who spoke to Rolling Stone described Combs as a serial predator who used his fame, fortune, industry status, and reputation as a fun-loving party host to hide a volatile temper and disturbing narcissistic behavior for decades. In a video posted on social media May 19th, Combs apologized for beating Ventura in a hotel hallway, calling his actions captured on video disgusting. But the music impresario otherwise denies the allegations against him in court filings and through statements from his lawyers. What's up, Chris Partlow? Everybody subscribe to Trenches News. Subscribe to Chris Partlow. Subscribe to NC, the one and only NC, Beezy Baby, Savage Black, Sparks Visuals. They have the great visions. They have the great graphics. And Made Media Magazine. In a video posted on social media May 19th, Combs apologized for beating. I just read that. Combs' attorney did not respond to the specific allegations made by sources who spoke with Rolling Stone. Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, and he will not comment on pending litigation and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press from any source, no matter how unreliable. So, he's subliminally trying to knock down all the videos being made on him and all the bloggers going in on his behind. Attorney Jonathan Davis says in a statement, "We are aware that the proper authorities are conducting a thorough investigation and therefore have confidence any important issues will be addressed in the proper forum where the rules distinguish facts from fiction." Here are 10 key takeaways from our story. At Howard, Combs became known for hosting rowdy weekly parties. Now they saying it's rowdy. But several women remember him more for an alleged incident outside a school dorm. One classmate tells Rolling Stone that Combs showed up outside a woman's dorm one night and began screaming for a girlfriend in a belligerent manner. Other women in the dorm quickly began running through the hallway, knocking on doors in a panic, according to the source. They were sounding the alarm that Combs, known then by his nickname Puff, was attacking the young woman outside, she recalls. "Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her," the fellow student said, according to the classmate. "He screamed and hollered and acted a stone fool until she came downstairs," says another student who witnessed the beating. She says Combs used what appeared to be a belt to strike the young woman all over the place. So he was outside in front of the dorm beating her with a belt, y'all. Speaking on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitive nature of the incident, the witness says Combs appeared super angry and was screaming at the top of his lungs, adding that he whooped her butt, like really whooped her butt. The witness says the woman was clearly terrorized. She was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying and we were telling him get off of her. We were screaming for her. A third source also recalled the alleged assault to Rolling Stone. He beat her outside in front of everybody, like he had the right to beat her like he was her father. That's crazy. Now, this is the deep part here that I'm going to get into, y'all. Combs allegedly beat a music executive bloody over the man's relationship with Combs' ex, Kim Porter. I don't know if they had cameras all over the dorms. This was in 1991 or 1990, Chris. I don't think they had cameras. I don't know. In the year 2000, Porter's fledgling courtship with late music executive Shakur Stewart enraged Combs. When the industry gathered for L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy that summer, Combs went to Stewart's hotel room after the ceremony and allegedly broke a chair over his head. Stewart's mother and two of his close friends tell Rolling Stone. Now, they went and interviewed Shakur Stewart's parents. They wasn't even talking about Shakur Stewart before. So these people at Rolling Stone went digging. They digging now. They going in the closet and pulling shit out. He left him bleeding on a hotel floor in Italy, Stewart's mother Portia says. He had to have stitches, and then Combs threatened him. "I'm going to kill you." He told Shakur Stewart he was going to kill him. That's when I said, you need to get out of this business. This man is crazy. Now, let's go into Shakur Stewart. This article was written on June 15th, 2009 by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Friends saw Def Jam executive wilding out or bugging out, wigging out, it says, seconds before suicide. Shakur Stewart's fiance was concerned about his changed behavior. A close friend was trying to talk to wigging out record executive Shakur Stewart moments before he committed suicide Saturday, according to a Cobb County police report. Herb Smith of Diddy-Let said in the report that he had to come over to Stewart's Marietta home Saturday at the request of Stewart's fiance. I'm gonna show y'all. What's up, nephew? I'm gonna show y'all a picture of Shakur Stewart. Let me put this picture up here, so I want y'all to see what he look. Look, he's up here with Jeezy. He discovered Jeezy. Okay, so he was an important person, and they don't talk about him. Okay, home Saturday at the request of Stewart's fiancee, Michelle Rivers, to talk to the Island Def Jam Records vice president. He was the Island Def Jam Records vice president at the time. To talk to him about his change in behavior that concerned his fiancee. Smith told police that he noticed a behavioral change in Stewart when he arrived at the house and that Stewart was wigging out. In the police report, Smith said while trying to talk to him, Stewart began telling him to leave. He told Smith to go back home to his wife and children, according to the report, because he did not need to be at Stewart's house. When Smith stepped outside the house at 3860 Lindsay Drive to call 911, he heard a gunshot from inside the house, the report said. Smith told police that Rivers was in the kitchen at the time of the shooting. Smith found the 34-year-old Stewart on the master bedroom floor. Now, they were saying that people was approaching Shakur Stewart after a while and trying to get him to engage in these freak-offs and these parties and gay activity, but he wasn't with it. He was turning people down. And they said that one time he went to a meeting or something, or a party. This is alleged. Everything I'm saying is alleged. It has not been proven. This is for entertainment and research purposes, education purposes only. That they drugged him and took pictures of him in the bed and video of him participating in homosexual activity and had threatened to show that to his fiance. So they said he was acting kind of strange. And this was after, my phone is always ringing. This was after, hold on y'all. What the hell is this? Hello? Hello? Who's this? Yes. Yeah, bye, bitch. Okay, so Shakur Stewart was a big figure, and he became good friends with Kim Porter. And Kim Porter started sharing some of the things about Diddy that was concerning her at the time. And she was with Diddy one time, and Diddy went through her phone and found out about Shakur Stewart and found out what she was discussing with Shakur Stewart about him. So he knew everything that she was telling him somehow, because she would be texting Shakur and talking to him. So they blackmailed him, took those pictures of him in compromised positions with men at some party or some function, and they were blackmailing him with that. So that's why he was acting strange, okay? Now, the fiancée told police that she noticed a change in Stewart when he arrived home October 31st, but he wouldn't tell her if anything was wrong. They went out for Halloween, and Rivers called Smith, his friend, when they got home because he was acting crazy. A private funeral was held Thursday, and Smith could not be reached by phone. Autopsy results are expected in 12 weeks. Last week, Rivers released a statement through the record label that read, "Rivers is his fiancé. Over the past several weeks, Shakur's behavior was inconsistent with the man we all know and love. As much as we all tried to help him, Shakur was in deep pain and largely suffering in silence." So he wasn't really discussing what was happening to him and how they was harassing him and trying to make his life miserable, especially after they found out, well, Diddy found out that he was communicating with Kim Porter. Stewart made several local talent discoveries, including Def Jam stars Young Jeezy and Rick Ross, and is credited with helping to put the Atlanta music scene on the map. So this wasn't no lightweight music executive. He was really doing big things. Young Jeezy and Rick Ross are big names in the hip hop industry, all well household names. So you don't really hear nothing about Shakur Stewart. You don't hear nobody saying, giving no tribute to him, discussing him, nothing. So, this was really strange to me, what went down with Shakur Stewart. May he rest in peace. I hope that the truth comes out about what happened with him. Now, also, there was a model that Kim Porter was seeing. She was getting good friends with. He was from Brooklyn, Fort Greene, this dude right here. And he wound up, his car was blown up, y'all. Just like we heard about Kid Cudi when he was allegedly dating Cassie at one time when she had broke up with Diddy. This guy was like seeing and getting close with Shakur Stewart, yeah. He was getting close with Kim Porter. And his car was blown up, y'all, in Brooklyn. He didn't die from the incident, but his car was blown up. And then he was found dead 2 months later. 2 or 3 months later, they found him dead somewhere in Pennsylvania. Some people are linking, because the murder came from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Diddy allegedly has ties in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Someone was discussing this yesterday. I think it was Miss Lowdown I was listening to, and she was saying that he had ties out there, Diddy. The dude that killed this guy here was from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I think that during this is really some deep shit that's going to come out about Diddy. Surprisingly deep shit. And I think bodies are involved here. Bodies are involved here, y'all. Let me see something. What else I wrote down? Stewart was tabbed to replace Jay-Z's role at Def Jam after the rapper left after signing a deal with Live Nation. Prior to filling the EVP Executive Vice President position, Stewart signed Young Jeezy and Rick Ross. Yep. So let's go to number 3 on this list here with this investigation. Number 4 we on. Okay. Combs allegedly attacked a woman inside Bad Boy's offices. Kirk Burroughs, who was the person that was building up Bad Boy with Diddy, Kirk Burroughs says he once saw Combs physically assault a woman inside Bad Boy's offices in 1994. He and another ex-employee tell Rolling Stone they had to tear Combs off the woman after hearing screams and the sound of shattering glass. The woman declined Rolling Stone's request for comment. Felicia Newsom, the first manager of Bad Boy's recording studios, Daddy's House, recalls once holding Combs back when he was about to beat this girl's ass after a fight broke out between 2 women. I'm holding him by his waist saying, "You need to calm down. This is not your fight," Newsom recalls. So he was getting ready to fight some girl that was fighting with another girl. He wanted to fight her. He's kind of weird, yo. Number 5. 3 accusers speak out for the first time. It isn't about the money. 3 of the women now suing Combs for sexual assault tell Rolling Stone that once they learned their abuse was part of an alleged pattern, it was time to lend their voices to hold Combs accountable. It isn't about the money, says Joy Dickerson Neal. It's about making sure the world sees that this man who rose to the level of an icon is actually sick and has left so many victims in the wake of his unpunished, disgusting behavior for years. He's obsessive, yeah. He feels like once he dates you, then you belong to him, and that's it. It don't matter what he's doing. It didn't matter that he was running around with Jennifer Lopez. He was still stalking Kim Porter every time he wasn't around her. What's up, NC? Shout out to NC, the one and only _NC. Follow her on YouTube. Follow Chris Potlow. Follow Trenches News. Follow Made Media Magazine. Follow Sparks Visuals and Savage Black. She said, I had a whole future in modeling mapped out that was stolen from me. Being sexually assaulted and having no remorse is so painful, model Christy McKinney says. I felt like I was dying every day because I did not yet have the strength to come forward. I hope that by speaking out, I can help other survivors come forward and seek justice. The reason why a lot of these people in the industry don't come forward is because some of them have hopes to have some type of livelihood or career in music, and they know that these people have the power to blackball them. So I don't think most of the time it's that they're scared of the person, but they're scared of what the person can do as far as hindering them from getting in the business and having them blackballed. A Detroit area Jane Doe, who alleges she was gang raped by Combs, shown here in a photo with him on the night of the alleged encounter. Now, I don't know why they have to rape people when a lot of these women is looking for somebody that can furnish their lifestyles and be a sugar daddy or whatever. So I don't understand why they would have the need to compromise themselves. This is the girl, they covered her face right there. They can have almost any woman or partners they want. They will give them the PUSSY or the DICK. So all of this trickery, what is that for? You don't even have to do that. But this is not about sex. It's about having power over people. Number 6. Combs was jealous of Tupac Shakur's friendship with the notorious B.I.G. I think these videos came from Jamie Foxx. Some got them from him. Yeah, I think some of them too. But when they raided the house, they got a lot from the raiding the house too. Now, I always felt like somebody was jealous of Pac and Big's relationship because they was real tight. They was like brothers. I thought it was Suge. Or maybe, somebody in the industry that didn't want them to be close. And it was, but I didn't know that it was Diddy. Diddy was the one that they're saying was jealous. And for Rolling Stone to mention this as one of the things they felt important to list while they were doing the investigation, I truly believe, y'all, that it's going to come out now that this guy Diddy up there talking about I'll be missing you and doing performances and stuff, making money off this man for 30 years. This nigga had something to do with Big, y'all, getting killed, y'all. This is really amazing to me. Before Combs and his Bad Boy label were embroiled in a rivalry with Marion Suge Knight's Death Row Records, he was fond of the charismatic Shakur. His Bad Boy team spent the summer of 1993 studying the rapper's buoyant hit I Get Around as a blueprint for a commercial hip-hop record. Desperate to be taken seriously, Combs tried to foster a friendship with one of hip-hop's greatest talents, sources said. Now, it was being said that they was very, very close, but and they were, because one of my homeboys used to be with them, and I was watching this documentary, Biggie and Tupac, and they was all on the stage, and Diddy was up there, Tupac was up there, Big was up there, and I heard this girl screaming out my homeboy name, Marky, Marky. So he was on the stage, he was bodyguarding for them that day. But I got a DVD documentary called Dead Homies about Blood versus Crips War in LA, and at the end of it, there's that 93 freestyle of Pac and Biggie. Yeah, they were very close. Okay? Shakur wasn't interested in being friends with Diddy. Pac didn't have any kind of respect for Puff, says 90s hip-hop photographer Monique Bunn, who was close with Christopher Notorious B.I.G. Wallace and other Bad Boy records. To Shakur and even Wallace, Bunn says, Combs was a corny executive, so Biggie and Pac saw him as a corny dude. They wasn't really rocking with him like that. He probably was trying to hang out with them and stuff and go to these little places that Pac and Big used to go to and rip up the mic. And they didn't want to hang out with him. They saw him as corny. Instead, according to Bad Boy ex-president Kirk Burroughs, Shakur bonded with Wallace, whom he viewed as his peers. as his peer. As a result, he says, referring to Combs, there was someone on the sidelines jealous, not wanting that friendship to happen. See, that's also the problem too when you got these feminine dudes that's like women. Like, why is you jealous of his relationship with Pac when Pac was hooking him up and doing? Maybe he thought that because Big was such a talent and everybody wanted Big on their team that he would leave and probably go be with Pac at some point, because they were saying that Big was going to become a part of the Outlaws at one point. So maybe that's what he was looking at, but he's just he's a terrible person. Like, how you going to, if you really look at it, like, and Gene Deal saying that before they both got killed, that Diddy was saying, I can't live like this with all this beef stuff going on. Like, something got to happen. I don't care if Suge Knight got to go to jail. I don't care if if Biggie got to die. I don't care if Pac got to die. And that's exactly what happened. Suge Knight went to jail. Big got murked. And Pac got murked. I don't want to say the words because it's like, I don't know what words to say on freaking YouTube no more. But number 7. Sources say Combs had abandonment issues and wouldn't let the women in his life move on. We was just talking about that. Damian Vasquez, a former Bad Boy intern, says after Combs and Jennifer Lopez broke up, Combs had staffers camp outside MTV's TRL studios with signs to win her back. Ventura claims that every time she hid from him, Combs' network of operatives found her and employed her to return, including a Bad Boy executive who threatened to withhold the release of her music if she didn't return Combs' calls. Now, he had help. He had help terrorizing this girl and having her captive. He had them stalk her if she left him and stuff. Like, come on, these people should be held accountable too. Yep, he said that in the last Big Night documentary. Yes, he did. Yeah, you don't know what to say on YouTube either, right, NC? A lot of us have abandonment issues. It's our ego. But this is just going too far what he was doing. Burroughs believes Combs' losses at a young age, especially the murder of his father, took a toll on his relationships. He is fortified now with the money and the power, but abandonment and the act of leaving can bring about vicious results, Burroughs says, and the women catch it the worst. Porter, who died of lobar pneumonia in 2018, was no exception. Her relationship with Combs was tumultuous. According to 2 sources who claim Combs physically abused her, I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff, former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry says. If you live around them, you get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship he had that I experienced around him was like that. After their breakup, Combs refused to let her move on, Porter told Essence. He still called 50 to 60 times a day, she said. It was like my life was not my own. He was very, very intrusive. Now, Kim Porter wasn't only linked up with Diddy. He wasn't the first person she was linked up with. She was first linked up with Dallas Austin, who's Chili from TLC's baby daddy. Then she was linked up with Al B. Shore. And then she was linked up with Diddy. And I think she dated other people too, if I'm not mistaken. But he was controlling her. And he was even at one time fighting her and hitting on her. And she cut him. She cut him and he almost died. She cut him on his wrist and cut a major artery. So she damn near killed Puffy one time. Combs quickly sought the spotlight after Biggie's death. Just 2 weeks after Wallace was murdered in March 1997, Combs ordered LaJoyce Brookshire, the former director of publicity for Arista and Bad Boy, to focus all efforts on Wallace's upcoming album Life After Death. Combs denied Brookshire's request for time off to process her grief about Biggie passing, and instead demanded she work until the album was number one. Top 10, top 10, top 10, she recalls. It sold nearly 700,000 copies in its first week. When Rolling Stone approached Bad Boy about a cover opportunity a few months after Biggie's murder, Burroughs claims he advocated for the late rapper to take the spot. I was telling Sean, let's make it Biggie. You still have a chance for a cover in the future, Burroughs recalls. And he was like, no, he's dead. I'm putting out Combs' debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. Y'all heard that? Biggie was supposed to be the focus of that article after he died. And he said, no, the focus should be on me. He's dead. Okay, can you imagine that? Man, if the people knew that this man was doing all this kind of stuff before, he wouldn't have got to where he got to. People have to start talking and telling the truth earlier. He wouldn't have got this far. Combs got his cover. 2 years later, he acknowledged how Biggie's death had been big business. I think his passing added to the fame, Combs told Rolling Stone in 1999. At least 2 million of the nearly 5 million copies of No Way Out sold were due to his death, straight up. And that doesn't necessarily feel good, but that's the reality. This dude was saying shit right in everybody's face. I know it went over my head. Number 9. Co-workers showed disdain for Combs behind his back inside the Bad Boy offices. Burroughs recalls jealous uptown executives referring to Combs as Satan. Okay? And flipping him off as they walked by his offices in the Uptown building. Bad Boy sources say Combs was difficult to work for, claiming employees who wanted to stick around had to learn how to speak puffy. A demanding boss, Combs often yelled to get his point across and fired employees on a whim. No one on his team at Bad Boy spoke back to him. Former Daddy's House studio manager Felicia Newsom said, no one challenged him. Another source recalls artist Mace calling Combs Massa behind his back. Mace did respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. He was so volatile, says a source he did not respond to Rolling Stone's request, rather. He was so volatile, says a source who sometimes worked with Bad Boy. He was always on the edge of snapping and being scary. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces, and Puffy exploited people's desires to be in those environments. That's why he got his power, because people just wanted their career. They didn't want to mess up their career. Many Bad Boy artists were unhappy or believed Combs blacklisted them. Mark Curry was affiliated with Bad Boy from 1997 to 2006, and later wrote the book Dancing with the Devil, How Puff Burned the Bad Boys of Hip Hop in 2009. I had ran and bought that book because I wanted to know if what I was being suspicious of was true, and that was a little bit before the internet really started popping. He says Combs repeatedly promised to produce his solo album but never gave him a budget. There's different ways you can kill a person, Curry tells Rolling Stone. You can kill them by the experience. You can physically kill them. I've noticed him kill a lot of people's spirits. Some who left Combs worried he might try to expel them from the industry altogether. Brooklyn rapper Lanice Babs Bunny Wiley of Combs' MTV reality show Making the Band says she was blackballed after leaving the label. Photographer Monique Bunn claims her gigs instantly dried up after winning a lawsuit against Combs for withholding a set of Biggie's photos from her in 2000. She claims a friend at the Fader magazine told her that Combs personally called the office and said if they worked with her, Bad Boy would pull its advertising from the magazine. This dude was doing all type of shit. I remember on VHS, Biggie Behind the Music, Lil C said, Diddy said, if anybody cooperates with the law after Biggie's death, they'll be fired. Yeah, I remember that too. He's someone you don't want to make an enemy out of, says one former employee. When people go against him, that person gets ostracized. As ex-Bad Boy President Burroughs puts it, Combs never forgets a grudge. If he sees a snag in the sweater, he'll pull. This dude, y'all. I'm looking at the whole interview now on Rolling Stone. But they not saying nothing that we didn't just talk about. At some point, Cassie checked herself into a rehabilitation center to deal with the physical and psychological repercussions of her time with Combs and found renewed purpose in being a mom. So after she broke up with him, she went into a rehabilitation center. Mm. Over the okay. So they was conducting interviews with all these people about her. That's the infamous picture of him beating up on her like a monster. Yeah. Very traumatic, sis. Very traumatic. She was in a cult. She was a sex slave. If you ask me, her and Kim Combs were sex slaves, yo. And they was in a cult. Can you imagine somebody collecting your monthly, what you get every month, women get every month, and they take it and drink it and eat it? What the fuck is that? That's a cult, y'all. That's cult activity. That's demonic. Because these spirits need to be fed. Remember, I was telling y'all about energy vampires. And blood is a life force. This is why they associate vampires in them Dracula movies and stuff with blood. Because these people actually drink blood. And some of them are hemophiliacs. What is a hemophiliac? A hemophiliac is a person that if they get cut, they bleed. Like they could bleed to death. So a lot of these people are hemophiliacs. And they have to walk around and carry blood. That is the original meaning for coming up and discovering the Red Cross. Because these hemophiliacs need blood. Everybody that called Cassie a liar owes her an apology publicly. Facts. But they don't care. They was trying to say that she was down with it, that she was a willing participant, that she was in it for money. It could have been that she got used to the lifestyle. And she might have got into it. Because, hey, what young girl wouldn't be amazed and caught up with a dude that's going after her that's rich and famous? Let's be realistic here. So, let me see. This is the girl that said he raped her. You know, and he's bisexual. This dude do everything, yo. This dude do everything. Cast out of Uptown and blamed for a tragedy that claimed 9 lives, Combs could have faded into obscurity, but he was scrappy and determined, quickly securing a reported $10 million deal from Arista Records' Clive Davis that kept Bad Boy Entertainment alive. Now, at first they were saying $30 million. Now they saying it's $10 million. Now, he was helming a skeleton crew, eager to turn artists into superstars and cement hip-hop as a mainstream genre. While the world did not understand the power of hip-hop, I was working in it and watching it unfold, says Michelle Joyce, Bad Boy's first director of marketing. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it wasn't if it was going to happen, it was when. What's up, Sparks? Shout out to Sparks Visuals in the building. Remember, I was just telling y'all to follow him for your graphic needs. He's real good with graphics. Follow Sparks Visuals, the one and only. But yeah, Sparks, we getting into this article that this investigation that Rolling Stone did on Mr. Diddy-Let. Okay? But it's basically saying everything that we've been hearing. And stuff that I just read from that excerpt. But what they're not talking about is how... Who is this in this picture? Oh, that was when he got arrested that time. What the heck is this? Get out the way. When he got arrested for that New York, that Club New York incident. Oh, good, Sparks. That's great. That's great. So, I hope you're feeling good too. So let's see if they're saying anything that we didn't hear. Why is nobody saying anything? Are they that scared of him? After Combs' acquittal in the nightclub shooting in 2001, he reportedly headed straight to church. He later made a less God-fearing visit to the Peninsula Hotel, where he was throwing a massive bash to celebrate the verdict. It was there that Anna, a freelance graphic designer working with Bad Boy's marketing team, says Combs approached her and began to massage her shoulders. The woman requested a pseudonym, citing fear of retribution. I'm getting touched on my shoulder, my arms, my back. He's like, oh yeah, you like that? I know you like that. Like really, really gross, Anna recalls, sharing her story publicly for the first time. I was like, no, not so much, and I sort of floated my way out of there. He was a predator. So this the girl that, let me see, what's her? Crystal McKinney. Yeah, this the girl that the last lady that filed charges against him. What? Casey Sheridan, a member of the teenage girl band Dream, recalls the group being summoned for a meeting with Combs to a Beverly Hills hotel bungalow when she was 15 and awkwardly eyeing a purse and a pair of high heels by the front door as the group waited. After 20 minutes, a bathrobed Combs emerged from a nearby room. It's like you can't even keep your innocence. I'm 15 walking into this situation knowing exactly what he was doing next door, Sheridan says. Somebody is calling. I hate when people be calling. Like I said, I was live. What is he calling for? I'm just perusing through this. In a 2015 appearance, I see what you say, sis. In a 2015 appearance on the Breakfast Club radio show, Combs described the deal he offers his girlfriends. If I'm in a relationship with you, 25% of your time you're going to just feel like, oh man, I hate being here. This guy cheated on me. He lied on me, Combs explained while sitting next to his teenage son, Christian. But then there's 75% of, I'm going to make you the happiest woman in the whole wide world. I'm going to be there to support your dreams. I'm going to be there to hold you, listen to you. I'm going to be there to be your best friend. I'm going to be there to collect your monthly so people can eat it. That's just something I put in there. That's freaking disgusting, yo. He's fucking horrible. Now listen, they saying when they talk about Kim, they'll say Combs' long-term partner Kim Porter, who died of lobar pneumonia in 2018, and they'll underline who died of lobar pneumonia in 2018. They underlined it. I mean, probably to give to the link to tell more about the story, but there's some subliminals in here that I wouldn't be surprised if this Kim Porter thing they open a case about it. I wouldn't be surprised. He is this monster. Nothing has changed. This guy has no soul, no duty to anyone, not even his kids. That's what people said about him, y'all. I'm gonna have to read this article when I'm finished, guys. Combs' physical abuse extended to Ventura's inner circle as well. According to her lawsuit, she claims one of her friends obtained a settlement after a physical altercation with Combs in 2018. When he just felt like he could just put his hands on anybody he felt like putting his hands on. He know we live. He just felt he could put his hands on anybody he want to put his hands on. I guess he wasn't around the right ones, but is this the end? On May 4th, Combs posted a video of himself standing by an ocean, staring down a tropical monsoon with his arms outstretched as the recorded voice of his spiritual advisor T.D. Jake booms, not hysterical, not frantic, not anxious, not fretful, but steady in the storm. Shut up, boy. You know what you did. Yeah, that's the end of that article. Stop acting like you so innocent and you being attacked. You know what you did, my nigga. You know what you and your little peers did. They not talking about Jamie Foxx, but I personally think he had something to do with Jamie. Because, remember Jamie was talking about how he had video recordings from Diddy's parties and shit. And then after that, he got sick. I talked about this last night on Swipes Live. It's not even the money no more, Chris. He thought that him having those tapes on people, that he could extort people and say, remember, I got this videotape on you. If you don't do what I said, if you go with them against me, I'ma release this videotape. Because he was hiding it. He was having them parties and people didn't know they was being recorded at those freak-offs. So can you imagine how much footage this person has of people we would least suspect of even participating in those freak-offs? But I want to know what happened to Dude, though. I want to know what happened to this young man that we just hearing about now. This Sean John Rockaway model. And it's very, very suspicious that his car was blown up. Just like Kid Cudi said his car was blown up. Before he got killed, his car got blown up, y'all. Normal street dudes don't be blowing up cars. That's not something that's common. Yeah, I know his name. Let me see. Sean John model. His name is Esco. Esco. Wait, let me get his nickname was Esco, but his name was Jubar Esco Croswell. Jubar. That was his name. Jubar Esco Croswell. That's not something that just happens like cars get blown up. That's some movie shit. Like, that ain't something people in the hood do, blowing up cars. That's mob shit. So who would want to blow up a model's car? Like, you see, he got several pictures with Kim too, not just one. He got a couple pictures with her, and he was a cutie. Yeah, that's some mafia type shit. That ain't normal shit people do on the streets. I'm gonna get this nigga. I'm gonna blow his car up. Come on, that don't happen in the streets. So if Cassie fraternizing with Kid Cudi got his car blown up, if Kim was fraternizing with this dude Esco and his car got blown up, what does that tell you? And then he winds up gone a couple months later. Anybody who check him, Diddy, winds up gone some type of way. Heavy D. Heavy D is in my spirit strong with Heavy D. Something ain't right about Heavy D. Heavy D's passing. And when Gene Deal said that Heavy D would tell when he see Diddy doing something stupid or he hear about something, he'd be like, you got to make that right. Come here, let me talk to you. He had that kind of authority over Diddy because Heavy D was the one that brought Diddy in the game, really, that helped him get in the industry. So there was, and somebody asked me last night in the chat when I was on Swipes Live, they asked me who was Riz and Wolf. And if they're listening to this or they catch it later, Wolf and Riz were two of Diddy's bodyguards that he probably was afraid of. They was also linked up with BMF. Diddy had a very close relationship with Meech and them with BMF. They don't really talk about that, and I haven't seen them mention it really too much. And everybody talks about it, but everybody's been talking about Diddy rather, but nobody's bringing up the fact that he was that close with Meech and them except for Gene Deal, and he discussed some of it on Tisa Tell's interview he did with her. But Wolf and Riz was helping Diddy before he got the $10 million Arista deal, in between him getting fired from Uptown Records by Andre Harrell and getting that $10 million deal with Arista to create Bad Boy. It was Wolf and Riz and them and some other people that was supporting him, some street dudes that was supporting him and investing in him and making sure his artist was okay, and all the other stuff he had to do was done, because he didn't have access to the resources he had after he got fired from Uptown Records. So they was helping him. So Diddy had promised Wolf, because Wolf had told him, yo, I spent like $300,000, trying to help you out and do all these things. I spent $300,000 of my money. And Diddy was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay you back. Soon as I get this deal go through, I'm going to give you your money back. So they said that by the time Wolf got shot up, fatally shot in Atlanta, he was asking Diddy to give him his money. He wanted his money. And at some point, Diddy alluded to the fact that he wasn't going to give him his money. But during this time where they was having this back and forth, and Wolf was in Atlanta, somebody got into an argument with some girl, wanted to be over some girl with Meech. They was arguing and they kicked him out the club, alright? And it turned into a shootout. But before Meech went outside to talk to Wolf after he kicked him out, he called Diddy on the phone and said, what's up with Wolf? Like, he wilding out. Like, talk to your mans. Y'all know how we do. Holla at your man. Like, why he wilding out like this? And Diddy, like, separated himself from Wolf. He was like, do what you got to do if he acting up. In which case, he could have just called Wolf and been like, Wolf, chill out. Like, what's going on? How can I help you? Like, talk to your man. Like, nah, Meech, let me talk to my man first. Like, don't do that. We all one. Don't do that. But he told the dude, do what you gotta do. And it turned in at the end of the night to a shootout that got Meech shot and that got Wolf and Riz, both of them, killed. Because Wolf was, whenever Wolf and Riz, they said, was like glue. So I guess the dude knew that, because that dude was it was Gene Deal that told Meech to put the dude that killed him on with BMF, because he was about his business on the streets. So he was the one that got close to Wolf and Riz and was able to take them both out at the same time. He shot both of them. They probably wasn't expecting that they would have to worry about him shooting at them during this shootout, because Wolf is the one that introduced him to BMF and made him and told Meech to have the dude become a member of BMF. So was there a hit out on Wolf? And if you got to take Riz, take him too, because they knew how tight they was. And if they would have took one of them out, they would have had the answer to the other one. If they would have took Riz out, they would have had the answer to Wolf. If they would have took Wolf out, they would have had the answer to Riz. Both of them went at the same time. That was pretty convenient, wasn't it? Yeah, they got shot the same day, the same night. They got killed together. They was buried together. Their funeral was together and everything. Watch the video I did on Wolf and Riz. I did a video on them. Same gang, and butt naked. They said Gene Deal be talking about it. And Slick and the Family, all of that. But they never talk about the fact that Diddy is a Fed. And Meech wound up, after he was used to take out threats to Diddy, because Diddy was threatened by them, he went to jail. Because he probably was threatened by Meech too. Anybody who he was affiliated with that he might have had some fear of, or something like that, or he felt would be able to control him or shut him down with the bullshit that he was doing, check him. They all wound up in some type of situation or dead, yo. Nobody talked about what that he could possibly have been the one that snitched on Meech. After he used Meech for what he needed to use him for, then they said when Meech was being accused of killing Wolf and Riz at first during the investigation process, and when he was released, Gene Deal said he threw a party for Meech. So if Wolf and Riz is your man, and all of that went down in a shootout with him and his people, and you threw a party for him, that don't sound suspicious to y'all? Even if he was cool with Meech. He killed your two friends that was with you from the door that helped you finance your business. You wouldn't have been able to get where you was at without them. And all he wanted was his money back. That's all he wanted. But you was scared of the fact that he wanted his money back and you ain't want to give it to him. What he would have did to you. How they would have been on your ass. How they would have had their feet on your neck. Anybody that could have had their feet on his neck, especially with all the bullshit that he was doing behind closed doors, they was gone, y'all. What's up, AZ King? So I think that a lot of bodies may pop up and somehow, if not directly associated with Diddy, some type of connection there is going to be there. Bodies dropped around this dude. And if people, can y'all imagine all these years people been trying to figure out who took out Biggie and Pac and turned out it's this dude right here? Everybody was pointing at Suge. I'm starting to look at Suge a whole lot different now. Everybody was thinking it was Suge. It sounds like YNW Melly coming to the funerals and not being sad but coming in happy. Man, this dude was up there at a video shoot. The next day, his friends was taken out. He sure do, Chris. Now he do. Like, Suge is looking like the angel for real. But they used Suge to bring that gang element into hip-hop. They used him. As these people is young, they don't know that these diabolical people, what their plans are and shit. I used to call Suge the devil. Everybody used to call Suge the devil. Whole time, it was this nigga Diddy, yo. Diddy, baby. It was his ass. Son of a bitch. Look at him. Look at him, his little freakazoid looking self. Oh, I got it on the wrong thing. I have to have it in the overlay for y'all. Let me come down here for a minute. Look at this picture, y'all. Look at this for a second. Look creepy as hell now, don't it? They look like girlfriend and boyfriend. Look, they look like girlfriend and boyfriend. Look. They don't look like boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all. From the first time I saw that picture, I was like, what kind of fruitcake? Dookie Love on the Hershey Highway type of shit is this shit right here. This looks sweet as hell. This looks zesty as hell. Let me let y'all look at it one more time. Fruitcake. Written all over it. It's just sort of like when the picture that was circulating with baby kissing Wayne in the lips, y'all. And the bodyguard's looking like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But in order for them to get paid, they had to shut up. or they can't work in that business. But it's a bodyguard just came out that was talking about Buster, and that broke my heart. But I've been hearing little secrets, little whispers about Buster, but I just didn't want to believe it. I've been hearing whispers about him, about Method Man, about Redman. Oh yeah, I've been hearing things over the years. But I didn't take it. I took it with a grain of salt, and I was like, everything you hear isn't true. Not Buzz. The bodyguard said he's zesty as hell. He said they make sure when they go to events they have fun boys around for him. Now that is the rumor. I don't know if it's true, but that is what's been coming out. But I have to admit that over the years I've heard things about Buster. I just never paid it no mind. So when this bodyguard started talking, I was like, oh shit, it might be true. And I don't really care if he is. No, it's not my business. I still love Buster, but I don't like what they used, how they used the sexual thing in that business against these young and upcoming dudes and turning them out. I think Buster was turned out. If he is, he got turned out in the business. That they get turned out once they get up in there. It's not like they all really be gay, but once they start living in that lifestyle where anything goes and nothing is wrong and nothing is taboo, it becomes a part of their life, yo. They say he referred to the butt, to the behind hole as the star. Okay. Then I start thinking about the star ring, and I was like, ooh, let me not go there in my mind, because that they call the anus hole the star. That's their little nickname for it. Hey. It's just disgusting, y'all, the things that I hear, okay? It's disgusting. There's a lot of things that I just don't say. There's a lot of things that I just don't say. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to be honest. When they said that Dirk had to go to the hospital after that Jay-Z party, it made me think about Usher having to go to the hospital and certain other people having to go to the hospital. Like, what did they do to him? What was done to him in that party? Because he has not been the same since. I think that they was initiating him, but they also, along the way, something might have went wrong, and they start fucking with Dirk in little ways, like the shootout at the concert when he went to Chicago. All that little subliminal shit right there. I don't know if they was trying to spark up some more like beef and shit, or they was trying to warn him like, we could get you anywhere type shit. I don't know, y'all. I don't really know exactly what these people go through, but it seems to me like it's not like they just go willingly to be with these people and work with them. They be forced. Now, if you look at Dirk, who's involved in this gang activity and was going hard on the dissing for a little while when he was dissing Lil Mark and all that stuff, people got a lot of animosity towards him. Imagine if somebody offered to you, either you do this or you got to go back to Chicago and live that lifestyle where you was at because you blackballed. You think he would take that risk? I don't know. But see, they lure you in there and they give you everything for a little while. They give you everything you want, and then they come and approach you like, if you want to keep these things, then you have to do these things to keep it. And some people go along with it for a little while, and then they don't want to do it no more. Or they'll just leave the business and say, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We'll see them just disappear, or don't do music no more, or something happen to them. Or they go to jail or something. But this happens a little bit too often for it to just be, you be fighting to get away from these things when you get into the industry and you have these resources. You want to remove yourself from having to do the same things you had to do when you was trying to make it in life. Now you made it. Why are they subjected to still having to do these things? It's weird to me. Why do they still sell drugs? If you making 100 to 150,000 a show and your record deal was worth 100 million or 50 million, why is you selling stuff to get money and all this? It's just weird to me, that industry. So it just made me wonder, like, what's really going on? Because they always putting it in our face all the time. Everything that happens, we get flooded with the news. You know, the bloggers are covering it. If it's important enough to them, the main media is covering it. It's just thrown all down our throats. So just me being an inquisitive person and seeing all of this bad news all the time with just about every artist. A family member died. More family members of theirs died than in my real life. Like, the people around me don't be losing their family members like that. And I was like, that's weird. You get into the business, you have top access to medical coverage and care. What happened? How did you wind up getting shot? It's just, how did this happen that you can't be a fucking rapper and separate yourself from the violence in the streets? Why do you have to attach yourself to that in order to be accepted as an artist? You're practically forcing them to give off that image, because if you're not a shooter, if you're not like that, then people ain't gonna take you serious. He ain't like that. This is music. This ain't the streets. I think he was poisoned, Chris. Something happened. I think they did something to him when he was there. Something happened. Why was he in the hospital for a whole week after being taken to the hospital from that party? That's not weird to y'all? That's weird. Then they'll say, oh, he was popping pills. I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about him. He wasn't like Kodak Black or nothing. Like, all of a sudden now he a druggie now. I don't know. Then we just supposed to believe everything they tell us? Like, I don't believe everything people tell me. I never did. Like, after a while, if something grasps my attention, I keep hearing it too much, I start doing some research. I start digging. Let me look this up. And the more I dug, the more my antennas became on alert when I saw something. I don't be looking for it. I'll just be like, damn, this is kind of weird. And then it'll just come to me. Like I told y'all before, when I said, let me look at this Larry Hoover situation. Let me look at the numbers. And the first thing I did was I went to his sentence. And his sentence was 6 life sentences. Right? That's 1/6. 150 years. 5 plus 1, you leave out the 0, that's another 6, that's 2 6s. And 285, they said 150 to 285 years, or 258 years. And that had equaled up to a 6 when you added it up. Because 10 plus 5 is 15, and 5 plus 1 is 6. So when you looked at Larry Hoover's sentence, it had 666 in it. So I said, okay, this is an agenda. It's a code. This is us. This is an agenda. They talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So that alerts everybody at the same time, because when they first started doing these things, developing these fraternities, they had to speak in code. They didn't want the other people to know, the public to know what they was doing. So they have code words for what they doing, because they wasn't this powerful at first. The masses, if they would have known the secret things they was doing, would have attacked them, would have hung them at, stoned their asses. But now that the masses have been rocked to sleep, it's easy for them to do these things, right, in plain sight. On top of the 100 years, he was already serving for that 1973 charge. Yeah, but in this particular sentence is when they spoke to each other, letting each other know, don't try to help him. Don't. They do all of that by the numbers. It tells everybody who they can rock with and who they can't rock with. Once they identify that code, some code is going to be in there. Some trigger word is going to be in there for them to know that it's coming from the fraternal order of this world we live in. And they recruit you in different ways. They recruit you through the police force. They recruit you through. They make you take the oath. That's why they always ask you when you go and do a application if you was in the armed forces, because you get certain privileges. Because they weeding out the innocent ones that don't want to take oaths and stuff. This system is set up that way. And if they're going to be able to tell if you're going to compromise yourself some type of way, if you're going to bow down, because the whole idea is you must bow down and idolize me and not God. That's the whole ideal of it. What are you willing to do to show me that you will idolize me and you will do anything? That you will compromise yourself, that you will bow all the way down. That's why when you in those fraternities and sororities, you have to do all that hazing and you have to show them that you will bow down. Before you become a member of that sorority and fraternity, you will bow down to the system we live under. You will not try to rebel against it. You will not try to help anybody. You will not tell the secrets that we're telling you. You're more special than them people that don't want to take these oaths. They're not special like you. They're useless ones. They're outsiders. We all belong to this club, this fraternity. And they push that on us in different ways, through gang shit. Look at the symbols in the gangs. You think that came from the hood? Do y'all think these symbols with numbers in it and symbols with these gangs came from somebody in the hood? It was influenced by someone, a creative player somewhere around, influenced that. If you think of a gang, you're going to think of a bunch of dudes fighting, or maybe a gun or a knife, or all of this sophisticated scientific symbolism and these gang member things. Y'all got to think of that. Yeah, y'all got to think of that. That's Judaism. That's Jewish stuff that you're describing, Chris. We don't study Judaism in the hood. See, in New York, we had a number system too that we studied, but it was the 5% nation, which is a faction of the Muslims, but it's just a hood faction instead. And you had to know your lessons, just like people had to know their doctrines back in the days. And if they didn't know their doctrines, they would catch a beat down. That's what was going on in New York. But it was just, you had to know how important you were, that you was a God, that you represent God here with the 5%ers. You have to know that, and you have to carry yourself as that. And you have to know your lessons. So that's why the lyrics out of New York was so complicated, because the root of the streets was street codes mixed in with the 5% nation. So that's the vibration you get out of New York City, because that was the foundation of us. So a lot of the foundation of other states was the gangs, but they had doctrines too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about the same thing. It's just a little bit different wherever you come from. But we had our own laws as children of the Most High. We had our own doctrines. But our doctrines have now been tainted, turned into a vehicle used for us to take each other out and to hate each other. Because they got us looking at each other through the eyes of the people that hate us. So we're not looking at each other with love like we're supposed to. And that has weakened us as a people, as a nation of people. That has weakened us. Just taking out that element of love and respect for each other has opened the doorway for us to be destroyed. And people don't understand that. They could always use us against each other at any given time. They could just step back and watch us destroy each other. They don't have to do nothing. but give you the idea. And then they'll use you to do it. They don't want to be the ones to do it. They avoid the karma in that way to a certain degree. And everybody's looking at you instead of looking behind that curtain like the Wizard of Oz. That's what the Wizard of Oz represented. You had all that chaos going on, and there was one little man behind a curtain, behind a machine, just manipulating everything. There's symbolism in just about everything. Yeah, but the original gang type of dudes, they had doctrines, and they understood how important that symbolism was and the numerical system was. They knew all that. They studied. They just didn't jump off the porch for the sake of jumping off the porch. You had to be godfathered in by someone that was superior, that knew these things and that understood what it was really about, so that they could teach you, so you wouldn't crash out, and so that you wouldn't, while you was doing what you had to do to get your paper out there, you wasn't stepping over boundaries and being part of the problem. You had to have balance. They taught you how to be balanced with that shit. Before you kill somebody, you talk to people, y'all all have a conversation. Is it worth doing this to this person? Should we be doing this to this person? Not just, oh, this nigga said this about me, I'm gonna kill him. If you look at the mob, they had the consigliere and the godfathers. They had people older there to guide them. They didn't just was going willy-nilly. When they decided to go willy-nilly and crash the fuck out, John Gotti, it destroyed the whole organization. Supreme Allah, Lord Jamal's 5% of character from the TV show Oz. That's how I learned about them. Yeah, we grew up with them. My boyfriend used to, my son's father used to teach me about the lessons. And it made you be proud to be black, It made you feel like it was something to be a part of something. I think we have that need as human beings. We want to be a part of things. And these people know that, and they took advantage of that. They manipulated that part of us, needing to be connected to something. Because they always breaking up the family and shit, so it's always a problem within the families. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to step down from here. I just wanted to go through that article with Diddy. Y'all gonna see a lot come out about Diddy. It's gonna be very shocking. It's even to me, cause I'm realizing that this dude had Big taken out and was up there eating off of him for the past 25 years, yo. Eating off of his memory, off of his essence. Thanks, Sparks. And I'm glad you're home. Thanks, family, for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to go live more often when I have time. But it'll be in the afternoons when I get home from work, because I have to get a regular job now. It's time for me to get back out there, get on my routine again. But I will be contributing more and getting back comfortable with being on live and in the internet, because I don't really like it. It's a lot of bullshit that comes along with it, but it's worth it when you're trying to, have a discussion with the fam. This is the forum where we can do that. So y'all have a blessed day and stay your asses out of trouble. Peace and love.